One dose apparently equals 0.01 milliliters.
Very potent substance.
Let's put this into more relatable terms for my audience. If the movie-going public of the world represents a single milliliter, then a single dose of Felicium would equal the amount of people who actually like Green Lantern. Well, that might be a little high, but it kind of gets our point across. Green Lantern sucked. And apparently this plague also cannot be cured. It can only be staved off for 72 hours with a single dose of Felicium. Are we starting to get what's really going on here? And so the Onarans dose themselves with the Felicium, and Dr. Crusher is able to figure out instantly that the Felicium is not a medicine, but a narcotic.
Then to Jean and Romas and everyone on their world.
Is a drug addict.
Oh, so it turns out they're not actually evil pharmaceutical strawmen. They're just the villains in a really lame don't do drugs plot.
She tells Picard, and Picard tells her that he can't tell the Onarans because of the Prime Directive. He cannot interfere with their culture. Dr. Crusher volunteers to create some sort of a substitute for Felicium that'll ease them off their addictions. Sort of a Felicium patch, if you will. And I gotta say, I'm all for Dr. Crusher's plan, because I know my life's been only better ever since I discovered the Felicium patch. The Felicium patch. It'll cure your plague and get rid of all that nasty craving and addiction. The only thing you have to worry about is just occasionally running out. And when it runs out, you just replace it with another one, and you're good to go. The Felicium patch. Buy it today. Turns out the Breckians have no high technology or industry at all. Their whole planet revolves around making this one product, and they just sponge off the Stoner Society. Are you seeing a problem with this concept? How many long-term stoners do you know who you trust to actually make your living for you?
Okay, folks, if you're ever this guy at a party, it's time to seek help.
What I can't understand is why anyone would voluntarily become dependent on a chemical.
Oh boy. Now it's time for the Wesley Crusher PSA. This isn't a bad message to tell to people. In fact, it's a good message. Drugs are stupid. They'll addict you. They'll ruin your life. Stay away from drugs. That's fine. Do we need the patronizing message? Worst of all is Tasha's little bumper at the end of this.
I guess I just don't understand.
Wesley, I hope you never do.
I hope you die from an oil stain soon, Tasha. Drugs. Won't you?
John,
Dave's not here!
do you have it?
So apparently the withdrawal pains are going all over the planet Onara. Just imagine a whole planet crying out for spiders crawling all over me. Well, I got you topped. Here's a picture of spiders on spiders. Warning. The preceding clip was highly graphic and probably should not have been seen by sensitive viewers.
I'm sorry.
Take us to our planet, leave us there with our medicine, or this person dies.
What is up with Riker's face here?
I think even more importantly is where's his other hand?
Oh!
I will not be coerced.
So, after that little hostage situation goes nowhere, the Breckians decide to meet with Picard in secret. They offer that they're going to give the whole shipment of Felicium to the planet and get paid later.
They know that the Onarans no longer have the plague. They know that Felicium is no longer a medicine. So, of course, they are willing to give this shipment because they don't want to take the chance that the Onarans will lose their addiction. They don't want to lose their only customers.
How would they have known all of that unless the plague had once infected their planet as well?
You know, this isn't even a joke, but here's another possibility. Do we really know how the Onarans got the plague in the first place? Unfortunately, Picard is still bound not to interfere no matter how heinous the Breckians are, much to Crusher's objections. Dr. Crusher in this episode represents the attitude of basic humanity.
Picard represents rules lawyering.
Ah, but rules lawyering can work for good too, as Picard in the next scene decides that he will also honor the Prime Directive by not giving the Onarans their repairs. The Onarans don't like this, and neither do the Breckians, because they know that after a few more trips, the Onarans will no longer be able to make their drug runs anymore. This will eventually fall apart naturally, and it'll honor the very spirit and the law of the Prime Directive. I gotta say, go rules lawyer on this one.
History has proved again and again that whenever mankind interferes with a less developed civilization, no matter how well-intentioned that interference may be, the results are invariably disastrous.
Oh, Captain Picard, if only you'd remember this little speech when Otto Octavius' wife eventually will come after you for help too. And so there you go. Symbiosis. It's actually not that bad of an episode. The big problem with this episode is that it's padded. We don't even get the people on board the Enterprise till almost halfway through the show. Really, the cold opening should have ended with the people being beamed on board, or at least the cargo beaming thing. But oddly enough, this show could have used a B-plot. Maybe if Geordi got addicted to Felicium, or if Wesley spent more time studying drug addiction. Something that would have tied into the theme of the show, but still taken some time instead of this long, needless padding that meant nothing at all. In a bit of irony, or lameness, I'm not quite sure, this show was my introduction to Star Trek. It was sort of my gateway. This very episode. Yeah, it started out good enough. Watching Star Trek Next Generation. Just every now and then. On weekends. Maybe once in a while on syndication. Then I was watching it every day. Then I started up on Deep Space Nine. And Voyager. I started watching the original series again. And then the movies came. I finally knew I'd hit my deepest, lowest point when I was watching Enterprise. I need help. So decide for yourself. But as for me, I'm barely calling Symbiosis POS TNG.
YouTube gave this a ban, so Matt and I hatched a plan. The end credits we would edit just because we can. Instead, here's a new song.
Toys for Boys!
So the credits go on.
By Borshaska!
It's public domain, you can't complain, who can't be happy with that? What's the deal with saying we steal? It's fair use, we give them their dues. If it's so bad, you block our reviews. Why link up with iTunes?
You make your money there.
So if you're hearing this song, YouTube claimed we done wrong. The song title is still vital, right near the end. You'll see what could have been.
It was fun.
If we just talk like friends.
For no one.
Instead of discussion, you went for expulsion. That's why this tune has gone on. What more can I say? YouTube gets their way. The old music, we won't use it. Copyright wins. They prevent their loss. We repost past toss. No copywriting means no more fighting. I hope you enjoyed what was banned. What's the deal with saying we steal? It's fair use, we give them their dues. If it's so bad, you block our reviews. Why link up with iTunes?
Well, there's a waste of down.
YouTube gave this a ban, so Matt and I hatched a plan. The end credits we would edit. Who can't be happy with that?
Are you happy now, YouTube?
You alright? I learned it by watching you.